When it comes to quarterback tiers, the S tier, this is who I think can finish as the QB1. And there's only a couple options here. The first one, Josh Allen is in here, but Lamar Jackson goes in the S tier. Lamar obviously finished as the QB1 last year, has all the potential in the world to do that again this year and potentially even outproduce that level, in my opinion. Like, I really think he could be even better than that. The other two in this S tier to me are Josh Allen. Where are you at, bro? They need some labels on this thing. And Jalen Hurts, why could I not find him? Jalen Hurts goes in the S tier. Lamar, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. The only reason why for Lamar, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts is you have a QB that can run for 1,000 and pass for 4. Run for 1,000, pass for 4. And you have two other QBs that are going to score over 10 points, over 10 touchdowns. They're going to score over 10 touchdowns. So for me, those are easy options. Lamar, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Y'all agree with this tier? Who should be in this tier that's not? Who should be in this tier that's not? Let me know who should be in that tier. Appreciate y'all running up the likes. Oh, how about this? TikTok. Y'all, since y'all want to run up the likes, I got something for y'all. I will open up the chat if we get to 50,000 likes. You know what? 25K. 25K likes, we'll open up the chat. All right? That is my goal. Now, what I did last year was 10. Let's do 10 to start. 10 to start. 10 to start off. 10K, if we get to 10K, I'll open up the chat. That's my promise to y'all. 10K. 10K likes, I'll open up the chat. All right, next tier of quarterbacks. The A tier. Now, my boy Jaden Daniels, they got to update these pictures too. Jaden Daniels goes in this tier. And there's only one other quarterback I think that fits in this tier for sure. Jaden Daniels finishes the QB5 last year, and I think a lot of people are expecting him to take a leap up. When you have Terry McLaurin potentially being out for a portion of the time, you also have, I don't know that he has the 1,000-yard rushing potential. And he hit, 800 and something last year. He got close, but I think there's a cap, whereas like Lamar, Justin Fields, those guys feel like they have true 1,000-yard potential. I don't know that he scores the rushing touchdowns, especially when you got Brian Robinson there, Austin Eckler in the backfield. Like, you have options, and he threw a lot of touchdowns last year to Terry McLaurin. Like, I don't know that Terry McLaurin sees the 15 touchdowns or whatever it was that he had, 14 touchdowns he had last season. So for me on Jaden Daniels, I got to kind of pump the brakes a little bit. I know it's easy to put him in the next tier. I actually, if I'm ranking them honestly, I have Joe Burrow ahead of Jaden Daniels. That's where I have Joe Burrow. And I think Joe Burrow repeats the year. My concern with Joe Burrow has always been like Jamar Chase getting hurt, T. Higgins getting hurt, himself getting hurt. And this is one of those things where, like, those guys, maybe if they just stay healthy, they prove they can stay healthy and they focus on that, we might be talking about a clean season from them all. Joe Burrow, to me, has a little bit more of a safety feature that's locked in than Jaden Hurts does. Jaden Daniels does, excuse me. He has a little bit more of a safety floor than a Jaden Daniels does, in my opinion. And I think Jaden Daniels, with the rushing floor, has a very nice floor. But I think Joe Burrow is a little bit safer, in my opinion. Maybe not the same upside. He's a little bit safer, though. The only other quarterback that I think belongs in this tier, but I have a hard time, based on last season's results, really justifying it, I am putting him in this tier, though. Excuse me. And that's Patrick Mahomes. A lot of people are down on Pat this year. And one of the concerns with Pat Mahomes is that he didn't look the same last year, right? Like, the offense, teams have adjusted. You play cover 2 against them now. And Pat Mahomes now doesn't have the same deep throwing potential that he had in years past. He don't have the same 5,000-yard potential and 50 touchdown potential. I get it. But for me, I think that potential is there. And I think that this team adjusts, and they've been adjusting low-key over the last couple of years, right? Obviously, Travis Kelce, this was a Travis Kelce offense before. Now you get Rashee Rice. You go draft Xavier Worthy, who has all the ability in the world to take the top off the defense. You get Hollywood Brown, another burner downfield. We're talking about vertical options here in the passing game. That is what we're talking about, vertical options in the passing game. So if those vertical options are there, why are we not thinking Mahomes is probably going to start taking more chances downfield? Hollywood Brown hurt big portion of last season. Xavier Worthy was a rookie last year. Rashee Rice out after the first, 2 games of the year? Out, gone. Main passing game option. Juju Smith, who was starting to look the part there as a wide receiver 3, he got hurt for a majority of the season last year. Like, this team has passing game options, and then they draft one of the fastest receivers in the league in Jalen Royal. So in this year's draft. So when it comes to Mahomes, he has all the weapons. Your running back was hurt last year. Isaiah Pacheco was out for a majority of the season, and when he came back, was still dealing with the injury. Why won't Mahomes be better? I love getting Mahomes right now. He's probably one of my favorites to draft so far in our 12-team mocks that we've been doing. I've been doing a lot of Patrick Mahomes in like the 5th, 6th round. I think he could crush that. So for me, I really like getting him at that spot. This next tier is interesting. Okay? This next tier is interesting. What I say, 10K likes, and I'll open up the chat. That's what I said. 10K likes, and I'll open up the chat. I promise I will. 10K likes, I'll open up the chat. 10K. 10K likes, I'll open up the chat. Y'all can debate me on these tiers all you want. The next tier is probably the hardest tier, I would say, for me, because there's players that I think should be in there, and there's players that I don't know if I believe in, but I'm probably leaving out of this tier just based on my own personal preference. All right. I'm trying to make this shit look clean. All these fucking ads they got. All right. So in this tier, one of the very first quarterbacks who actually got hurt today that I'm putting in this B tier, Justin Fields. Justin Fields belongs in this tier of quarterback. Now, does he have the same floor that a lot of these other quarterbacks have? No. But does he have the same upside as the S tier and the A tier? Absolutely he does. Obviously, he got hurt in camp today, dealing with the toe injury, got carted off. It's supposedly something that's not serious day-to-day, has potential to be on the field week 1. As long as he's on the field week 1, we good to go with Justin Fields. And we know he has 25-point upside on a weekly basis. So he belongs in this tier because he doesn't have the passing chops as a Lamar Jackson, a Jaden Daniels. But for me, I'm anticipating he plays all 17. This is where I would put him in this tier. Next up in this tier, and he probably deserves to be higher, Baker Mayfield belongs in this tier as well. After throwing 40 touchdown passes last year, there's been increases to the passing game. Chris Godwin is now healthy, right? You drafted Emeka Egbuka. You have Jalen McMillan, who played really well last year. Like, there's increases to this passing game. And I know Liam Cohen is gone, and that's probably the biggest concern is that Liam Cohen is gone. But at the same time, Baker has, every year he's been in Tampa, he's outplayed his ADP and played at an elite level. So I don't think he's an elite real football quarterback, but shit, maybe he is. Maybe he's better than we all think because he continues to produce, and maybe we're holding on too much to that early version of what Baker Mayfield really is. So for me, I like Baker in this spot. I don't really draft a lot of Baker Mayfield, to be honest, because I think that there's similar quarterbacks that go after him. So that's really been my biggest thing with him is that I'm just not sure that I really want to take Baker Mayfield. But if he slips too far in drafts, for sure I'm gonna take him. All right, y'all, we got up to 10K likes. That number's only going to grow. I hope y'all know that. But the chat is now open. I'm not going to be answering a whole lot of questions, but I will go over like feedback of the list. Shout out to y'all for rocking, man. Why you want to make us pay? Shit, I could just be offline. CJ. And there's people who do pay, so I got to at least have it for them too, you know? I got to be able to do, y'all want me to give you the best info, right? Give y'all the best info I can, bro. It's $5. You ain't got $5 for me? You ain't got $5 for me, dog? All this shit I do on my Sundays, helping y'all out in the morning, y'all ain't got $5 for the kid? It ain't even that much, bro. Ain't even that much. All right. Next up in this tier. My man Kyler got to go in this tier, bruh. And I think Kyler, with his rushing upside, especially, there's rumors that Kyler wants to run a little bit more. Like, if Kyler does want to run a little bit more, then it opens up so much for this passing game, and I think it opens up more for his fantasy potential. He probably hasn't been running as much due to the fact that he did tear his ACL and probably wants to stay healthy, stay on the field, not get injured and have to go through rehab. But if he's willing to run a little bit more, then Kyler's probably going to be an extreme value here. This is a guy we normally took at the 5, like quarterback 5. So I think in this tier, I would really like Kyler to stay healthy this year and start to use his legs more. And I think we will see potentially, like, the thing is, I can say top 5 potential about so many players. And that's the hard part, especially with the quarterback position. If Lamar finished top 5, it wouldn't shock me. Josh Allen finished top 5, it wouldn't shock me. Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, Justin Fields, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, Kyler. There's so many quarterbacks that if they finish top 5, it wouldn't shock me. So what's the differentiator between that? It's the upside. It's the upside and floor. That's really the only other way you can describe how somebody's value should be. It's not what you want them to do, or even projections only go so far because you have to play football games. But with Kyler Murray, the reasons we liked him before and the value, the reason why he slipped down in drafts to QB9, QB10 levels is because he's hurt us in the past, especially around the fantasy playoffs. He hasn't always been available. So if those are your reasons for not drafting Kyler, I understand it. But for me, the potential for him to start using his legs more, to get the most out of Marvin Harrison Jr. this year, and throw even more touchdowns to Trey McBride this year, who only had 2 touchdowns last year, that upside is still there. For me, I really like Kyler going at this range. And this is a player that, like, if I can get him in the 8th, 9th round, that's when I'm starting to look at, like, all right, he's a value quarterback now. Next up in this tier, so we got Justin Fields, Baker, Kyler, I think are all in this tier. This one might shock you guys. Maybe it won't. But I got Dak Prescott in this tier next. Dak Prescott. You guys think Dak Prescott's in this tier? I got Dak Prescott here. And Dak, I mean, when Dak has receivers, we know he can produce top 5 levels. Like, we know he can produce that. So I think the only thing with Dak is that he doesn't maybe have some of the rushing chops that the other guys have. But to me, he's like a Joe Burrow light. You're playing with 2 elite receivers, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. You got a serviceable tight end in Ferguson. They have to pass the football to win games this year. There's no chance they win any football games this year without, like, through Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and Jaden Blue. Like, no chance. So for me, like, he's going right now outside of the top 10 quarterbacks. I think it was like QB12, QB13 last time I looked. I'm drafting Dak there above that all day. So for me, I really think Dak does have like 5,000 yard potential this season. He has like 35 to 40 touchdown potential. Like, getting George Pickens is a major add for him. All right, a couple thoughts, man. Appreciate y'all running up the likes here on the live. I will be answering some questions here, taking a little intermission real quick. Not too long, but Bo Nix thoughts. I'll talk about Bo Nix here in a second. Dak has so much more potential to smash his ADP if he'd run the ball, but he gets hurt when he runs the ball. Y'all think it's crazy I'm taking CMC at pick 5 the past 3 years where he isn't the consensus number 1 pick. He's healthy. I think it is kind of crazy. If you take CMC top 5, you already have Jahmyr Gibbs there. You have Saquon Barkley there. You have healthy running backs. Derrick Henry has 2,000 yard potential. Why take that risk with CMC? What's the point? Bijan, like, what's the point of taking CMC with the health risk? If he hits, yeah, but now you're already drafting him at healthy range. And if he doesn't stay healthy now, if something flares up with the Achilles, like, he's 29 and it only played half of the time he's been in the league, he's been healthy. Less than half of the time he's been healthy. So I think it's a little crazy. Second round for CMC. Bijan is the second easiest schedule too. Exactly. I love Bijan this year, bro. I love Bijan last year too. But somebody told me, they said, "Oh, you loved Bijan last year," and I was like, "Yeah." How did that work? How did that work out? It worked out great for us if we like Bijan. It maybe to start the season it was a little slow, but Diggs, I like Diggs. I like Diggs' value too. All right, back to these quarterbacks now. So obviously I put Dak in this tier. Another quarterback I'm going to put in this tier, in the same B tier, Jordan Love. Jordan Love belongs just alongside of this tier. He's finished as a top 5 quarterback just 2 years ago. What's the reason that he didn't finish top 5 last year? He was hurt. Jordan Love was injured. And I think it's so easy to forget that he was actually hurt last season, playing through that. And the team obviously took it, you go get Josh Jacobs. So the easy thought is, okay, well, no, it was a Josh Jacobs thing. They didn't have to throw the football as much. No, Jordan Love was throwing the football early until he got hurt. The first 3 games of the year, Jordan Love finished with. Jordan Love last season to start the year, after he came back from his initial injury, had 31 fantasy points, 16 fantasy points, 26 fantasy points. He only had one 20-point game the rest of the year after week 6. So, and he still finishes a QB 17, which is crazy. He was a QB 5 the year before that. And I think downfield, that's why you go get a Matthew Golden, you go get some speed, you go get more help in the receiving game. I think Jordan Love is probably going to smash. Jordan Love's going quarterback 15 right now. That's the biggest mispriced quarterback there is in all of fantasy. Jordan Love. Jordan Love is the most mispriced quarterback in fantasy football right now. I guarantee you. There's a better chance that Jordan Love finishes top 5 than outside of the top 15. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. Jordan Love literally is like a top 5. He's going to throw 4,500 yards. He'll scramble. It's not like he can't run the football. He'll throw touchdowns. He wants to throw touchdowns. Top 15 after Bo Nix? That's wild to me. So I think with Jordan Love, we're going to get hella value with him. He's got no receivers. You got Matthew Golden, who I think Matthew Golden this year has upside to be like a wide receiver 3-ish type play. Just Jordan Love spreads it out. You still got Jaden Reed. You still got Romeo Doubs, who's in a contract year 1 to prove himself. You still have Dontavian Wicks, who the fantasy community loved, right? Dontavian Wicks. So I don't know. I just feel like Tucker Kraft is, to be honest, and you got Luke Musgrave, who before he got hurt was another option in the passing game. Like Jordan Love has plenty of weapons. Could Kelsey finish tight end 1? He had last year at 97 catches. I don't know if he can finish tight end 1, but I think there's going to be some spike weeks. I think we see better Travis Kelsey than we saw last year, who was a tight end 8. I think we see much better. That's fair. Bijan Gibbs, Chase CD over, but I think the upside makes picks 5 through 10. I think you're wanting Christian McCaffrey to be elite. I just think the risk isn't there. If you want to take him, just know that like your season hinges on if he plays 15 games. Just know it. If he plays 15 games, you're probably looking like I made the greatest choice ever. If he's banged up at all, you're going to take an L. Like it's automatic. Like you're investing that kind of trust in him staying healthy when he's proven time and time again that he can't stay healthy. Like Jefferson more than they say I like CMC more than Jefferson. That's crazy. This fucking mouse, bro. Appreciate y'all running up the likes, man. Showing love to the stream, man. Watching, even though today a little drier than normal. Normally got the mock drafts going, but we got to do these rankings at some point. I got to talk about it, and I got to talk about the reasons why. So another pick in this B range that I think may surprise some people. Maybe not. Brock Purdy, I think, belongs in this B range. Now, I think it does matter if Ricky Pearsall and Brandon Ayuk are back. But I also think when CMC is back, Brock Purdy has so much more leverage within this offense. I don't think he's the greatest quarterback. But I do think fantasy-wise, this Niner team is probably going to be at a discount compared to where they were last year. Kind of similar to the year before that when we didn't know who the starter was out of Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. We got like the whole Niner team was at a discount. And I think Brock Purdy could be like another guy that he's a guy that's finished top 5 before. But it's like I think he could be kind of sneaky with his value this year, just like Jordan Love and Dak. So I got him ahead of this next tier, and he's the last player I really have in this B tier quarterbacks. Am I missing anybody? In the S tier so far, we got Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. A tier is Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Pat Mahomes. B tier, Justin Fields, Baker Mayfield, Kyler, Dak, Jordan Love, and Brock Purdy. Am I missing anybody?